Hi, my name is Valkyrie, and I want to talk to you about those church folks in Rogersville, Tennessee, and Little Summer Moon, and just some weird things that's been eating at me, and that's either been said by Don or things that I have found out. First of all, I am not a creator. I have never made a video, put up a video, never recorded a video. Heck, I barely exchange selfies with my daughters, so y'all just have to excuse my grammar, excuse any mistakes that I've made. I'm just trying to relay some pertinent information and put this information out there that I feel is very important to maybe finding Summer and getting this information out there. When I first started noticing these things, I thought, no, this is just my imagination getting away with me. There is just no way. And I am not putting this stuff out on video. This is just silly. There's just no way. And I started noticing these things about a month ago, and I started saying little things, and I got a little bit of slack about it, and I quit saying things. And now other people are saying things, and I think what I have to say is going to make a little more sense as to what Dawn is saying. Maybe even why the community is not saying anything. Maybe why the authorities are not doing anything, and why it seems like everybody in the community may even have a little involvement in it. I'm going to try to not bore you with all the things you've already heard, the names and players that you already know, and move along away from that. This video is going to be for basic information only, and I will try to do another maybe live video later to try and answer questions. I will say that Robin and that whole church has just never set right with me from the beginning. She smiles like Chris Watts, and it just eats me up every time she smiles or every time she giggles. I believe in my research I found that she was married to one of the Barretts, and a couple other creators have kind of confirmed that for me. And you're going to find, if you will just research this, that just about everybody that's in this game has lived in Texas, New York, Idaho, Utah, Florida, Tennessee, maybe Oregon. Same with David Dotson and the aliases that they use. He uses some crazy aliases. The pastor at the church, he uses some crazy aliases, and he has been everywhere. But as I got to the more I heard, the names and dates and places just began to jump and pop out at me. When I seen David Dotson's tattoo on his arm, it put everything into context for me. I had seen that design before. It's not a satanic tattoo, but it may as well be. And here it is. I am just going to lay it out for you, and then before you can jump down my throat, hear me out as I begin laying you out a little of the evidence that I do have. You have Branch Davidians, shepherd's rod, living in Rogersville, Kingsport, Falls Branch, that whole area of Tennessee. They are printing all the materials for most of the United States for the shepherd's rod. And if you're not familiar with shepherd's rod, that's what makes the Seventh-day Adventists and the Branch Davidians kind of separate. When David Koresh become a how do you say it? Branch Davidian, Seventh-day Adventist to a shepherd's rod, Seventh-day Adventist. Anyway, that's the difference between the two. Is they receive messages, and that's the only difference between them. Most people say we wiped them out in Waco. No, we didn't. They had a center in New York called Mountaindale. They've been there for 33 years. We have only been out of the Waco siege now for 25 years, meaning that they had existed in Mountaindale, New York, X amount of years longer than we've been out of Waco. They also had been in California, and David Koresh would take his followers to singings and stuff out in California to listen to that branch of Davidians sing and stuff and act and do their little their plays and stuff like that. I'm not real well versed at that, but like I said, when I seen David Dotson's tattoo on his arm, I knew I had seen it before, and it's on the Branch Davidian flag, and I'm going to show this to you. Hang on. Give me just a minute to pull this up. And that's the Branch Davidian flag. And let's see if I can focus this in for you better. Where it says, like I said, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to use all this. That's as small as I can get that. But it is GADSDA.com. but it is on his forearm. It is the Davidian Seventh-day Adventist Association.com. They also have branches. Here's the big one, guys. They have a Sabbath school in Michigan. They have a Sabbath school in Kentucky. And did not Don disappear to Kentucky? And they had to call him back before they noticed that, before everybody noticed that he was gone. Did Robin not have to call him back? But anyway, let's go over a little bit of the evidence that I do have. Now, I've just been working on gathering up the evidence tonight, so bear with me. And what I have here and printed out is the Universal Publishing Company of the Shepherd's Rod Speaks.org out of Rogersville, Tennessee. And I think that's all I have on that sheet. This is something I printed out that Cam and Allie had put out on one of their videos, and Don had said, "These things have I written unto you that believe on the name of the Son of God, that ye may know that ye have eternal life, and that ye may believe on the name of the Son of God. And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us." Well, for one, the Branch Davidians do not believe in Jesus as we believe in Jesus. They believe that these crackpots like David Koresh are messiahs, and somebody basically has to die to rise up to be on the throne. Here's one where a Seventh-day Adventist school is under fire over child sex abuse claims. And this one is in West Virginia and Tennessee. And this is where I'm showing you where they do worship the new moon, the sun, and this is where the holidays are, or what they consider holidays. The new moon is coming up, and summer did come up missing. It was like 5 days before the new moon over Israel, or before we seen the new moon here. I believe the 15th of June, the new moon was coming up over Israel, or had already been spotted over Israel. I'm not sure. It's been 3 months. These are the guys that are claiming to be prophets over the shepherd's rod now. Now, this Benjamin Roden was in Waco. He was in the shootout. Lois Roden, her and her husband were both prophets before David Koresh. David Koresh was said to be the second rod, and this was the first rod. Second rod, Koresh was the third rod, I think. I'm really not sure. Now, this Trent Wild fellow, his name, the best I could find on the web, was David Trent Wild. And he has been all over the United States. He was another one that has been from Tennessee to Idaho to everywhere, but I cannot find anything with the last name Wild. It seems like that is an alias where maybe he has changed his name. I cannot find anything really on that. Maybe Trent is the last name. I have found a David Sean Trent there in Rogersville that was from Rogersville. I'm not real sure. Like I said, this information I just started tonight on this. Maybe you guys can help me fill in these missing blanks. Like I said, I'm just basically getting this information out that these people are living around and amongst Kingsport and Rogersville and Kentucky and New York and still in Waco. And this is just a little excerpt about what I was telling you about. The Shepherd's Rod, or the Rod of the Davidians, is an American offshoot of the worldwide Seventh-day Adventist Church. It was founded in 1929 by Victor Hottoff, its president and prophet, and blah, 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 and how they're currently still around today. And I don't know, because it does not show me a state on this, if that is the right guy or not on that RSO. And this shows Shepherd's Rod in Rogersville, Tennessee. And that Universal Publishing Company, and the address, and where they are doing it and publishing all this, blah, blah, blah. And they run the website whyparish.org. They also have, under this UPA7.org, they have YouTube videos on a study group of the rod, the messages that they receive. This is the Mountaindale, New York. And just so you know, Mountaindale, New York is within 100 miles of Gloverville, New York. Charles Pace, that runs another group, he was also with the original, or not the original, but the David Koresh branch Davidians. Oh, and the group in Rogersville do believe that David Koresh fulfilled his prophecy as the Messiah, and that the books that he wrote during his time of the 51-day standoff, they use those books today as part of their rod to study. Okay, the third rod was those that came with David Koresh, so we're on the fourth rod now. Bill Johnson is another one that runs the Word Faith group. Okay, and here's the address on the one in Prestonburg, Kentucky. Here is another one. The Seven Seals is also part of one of the Sabbath schools. I forgot where it was at right off. But they do teach the David Koresh revelations. Here's a whole, you remember the other day when Don said something about the Sabbath schools in one of his last videos? Here's a whole list of boarding schools that I found on these people. My printer ran out of ink, so I'm sorry if it gets more difficult to see. Okay, it was June the 12th was the new moon over Israel. Yeah, a lot of this I printed out just the whole page just to show you just that one thing. And okay, it was just a P.O. box address in London, Kentucky. But it makes you wonder, and here's one in Salem, South Carolina. It makes you wonder why he drove all the way to Kentucky. And Robin knew exactly where to contact him at and how to contact him. And here is an address or the information. Oh, on this one, look. They got a $64,000 loan in May that does not have to be paid back. May 2020. $64,000. 64, yeah. And that's the Mountaindale location in New York. Wonder what they did with that $64,000. Okay. Now, let's see. Alright, I am going to upload this video and then I'm going to work on uploading a couple about the Facebook videos and I appreciate you guys at least taking the time to hear me out on this. Thank you.